Hey guys, what's going on? My name is GamerGator, and today we are back with the fourth part of the top 50 roller coasters listings. And again, if you're looking for explanations for why I'm doing this sort of thing, go and watch the first video. I explain everything, and make sure to watch 2 and 3 because there are spoilers in this video for those videos. Anyway, there's a list of the parks I've been to, or the coasters that are going to be on this list, what parks they are from. There you go. And without further ado, I'm not going to waste your time, let's just get into this. There's 50, 49, 48, 47, 46. Alright, let's get all the way to 20. Just going to skip through all of these because you saw them on the last few videos. Just gotta get to 20, just gotta get to 20. Alright, gonna stop at 21 here. And are you ready for the anticipation of numbers 20 through 11? Let's go! Coming in at number 20 is Storm Runner at Hershey Park. Yeah, this thing's intense, man. I remember when I, the first few times I rode it, I wasn't that crazy about it. It just kind of felt short than it, more than anything. And then, most recent time I rode it, freaking great ride, man. It's intense, has good airtime over that top hat. Not many times I can actually say that when I'm talking about top hats. But, yeah, Storm Runner's top hat's really good. The inversions are great on this thing, especially that flying snake dive. Whew, that's intense. And then, really the most underrated part of the ride, and honestly the part I was most impressed by, were those turns that lead you into the brake run. Those were great. I don't get why nobody talks about those. Those were freaking awesome. Those were possibly the best part of the ride to me. They were intense, and then that little pop of airtime you get when you go into the brakes, that was awesome. So yeah, Storm Runner's number 20. The reason it's not higher is because it's a short ride at the end of the day. I can't put it higher. But yeah, Storm Runner is a great ride. Coming in number 19 is Manta at SeaWorld Orlando. Yeah, I talked about Superman Ultimate Flight. I'm like, I liked it a lot the first few times I rode it, but then I rode another flying coaster, and then I realized, yeah, this one's not as good. This was that coaster. Manta is what I want from a flying coaster. I haven't even ridden the great ones from what I've heard, because I heard Tatsu and Flying Dinosaur, I'm pretty sure the two best. And Manta's awesome. It's such a good ride. It's so much fun. Again, Manta's just a purely fun ride. It's not about the intensity or anything like that. However, it does have a few intense moments. Especially that pretzel loop. But, yeah, I rode this in the back row. And maybe it would be higher if I wasn't a bit salty about the ride breaking down when I was just about to ride it. So, yeah, I was a bit salty about that. And, maybe the back row wasn't the best place to ride it. Because I wouldn't say I was disappointed by this ride. I would say it met my expectations. Because, you know, people like Coaster Studios were saying, oh, this thing's amazing. I'm like, it's not amazing. Really, really awesome. It's still great. Great freaking ride. You know, awesome ride. Probably like 9 out of 10, but not 10 out of 10. Then again, was I expecting 10 out of 10? I don't know. Whatever, I don't know. There's just something that was missing for me. Maybe it's just because it doesn't have intensity or anything like that. However, Manta, still a really fun ride. Absolutely love Manta. And if this were at my home park, I would not complain at all. So, you folks at SeaWorld Orlando, you're lucky. Anyway, coming in number 18, we have Manta's good old pal, Kraken. The, one of the other B&Ms at the park. And, here's why I like Kraken more. It really only comes down to one reason. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Manta's theming. Manta's theming and queue line and everything, that was really good. It had a much better queue line than Kraken, actually. But the thing about Kraken is, well, what was nice about Kraken is it never had a long line, so that was great. But the best thing about Kraken, I rode this in the back row. And when you ride this in the back row, I had no idea about this, but you get some freaking awesome floater airtime over that drop. That was so good. It's a nice long ride, so many inversions, it's intense, easily the best floor coaster I've ridden. And yeah, I love Kraken. Definitely worthy of number 18. Awesome, awesome ride. Coming in at number 17 is Nitro. The very first B&M hyper I ever rode. And, yeah, it's at my home park. I've ridden it loads of times. Probably the coaster I've ridden the second most amount of times. Maybe even first. I think second, though. And, yeah, Nitro's an awesome ride. It gives good airtime. That helix is intense. It has some good forces there. And I feel like the reason it's not higher is because I've ridden 2 other B&M hypers, and I just think they're overall better B&M hypers. And then when you go and ride Nitro, I'm like, It's really good, but not as good. Mainly because you don't get as good airtime. When you ride in the back row, you definitely get much better airtime. The airtime in the back row is pretty dang good. On those hills, as you can see, they're going down back to the brake run. None of them are all that good, save for that last one. And just some of the hills don't give a lot of airtime. They give good airtime, but not spectacular airtime. So that's why Nitro is number 17. It's really good, but it might be showing its age a little bit. Maybe when it was brand new, it gave much better airtime and everything, but still a great ride. And I'm very happy to have it at my home park. Coming in at number 16 is Magnum XL 200. Yes, and what an aerodynamics coaster over a B&M Hyper. I know, right? Well, not just an aerodynamics Hyper. I'll tell you this, the first half of Magnum is not that great. It's not. But that second half more than makes up for it. It is, oh my gosh, that airtime on the return trip is so freaking nuts. It's like, I don't know what other coaster has airtime like that. Maybe Phoenix at Knoebels? But, yeah, you just feel like you're being catapulted out the train. Just without that restraint, you'd be in Canada, who knows. But it's that freaking good. You'd be on the other side of the peninsula. It's so good. I mean, yeah, that airtime on the return trip is awesome on the way back. The reason it's not higher is, again, because of that first half. Because the first half doesn't do much for me, honestly. But that second half, that second half. Coming in at number 15, we have Raptor at Cedar Point. One of the reasons I really enjoy this coaster is because I went in with low expectations. Well, not low expectations, medium expectations. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure this will be a good ride. It'll probably get overshadowed at Cedar Point, and honestly, it didn't get that overshadowed. It was a really great coaster. My second favorite being a member of Ridden. It's so good. Especially after that mid-course, I was worried it might be going a bit slow through those inversions. No, that thing is freaking intense. It's more intense than Batman the Ride. It is so good. And yeah. And it's like Batman the Ride, but not rough, and just better in every single way. So Raptor is pretty much the perfect version of Batman, and it is awesome. I love Raptor so much. Definitely worthy of being my second favorite invert. Reason it's a bit lower, partially because of the Cobra roll can be a little janky. There are a few little rough patches here and there, but really doesn't bother me very much at all. Coming in at number 14 is a super underrated coaster, and that is Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Nobody really gives credit to Cheetah Hunt. Everybody's like, that's a family coaster, it doesn't do much, and let's just go right with Montu, Kumba, Shikara. Yes, I'll agree that Montu and Kumba are better coasters, not Shikara though. But the thing about Cheetah Hunt is that it's a long ride, and again, this is another one of those fun coasters. And if you ride in the back row, you go after that launch into that airtime hill, you get some great you get like Maverick level airtime on that thing. It was awesome. And this was another one of those coasters where I didn't have high expectations. I was kind of just expecting a family coaster. Then I rode it. It was just awesome. I love Cheetah Hunt. It's so much fun at the end of the day. It is just so much fun. I love it. You really feel like a cheetah hunt running on the savannah. And it also helps you have some cool theming with some, I don't know why, I just love African theming. It just looks cool in my opinion. And, just watch my Ready to Begin Planet Zoo series. But, yeah, also, having the cheetah enclosure right next door to this was really cool. And, yeah, I just love Cheetah Hunt. It's such a picturesque coaster as well. You can see it from almost anywhere in the park, because it just goes all throughout it. Anyways, there you go, number 14, Cheetah Hunt. Awesome coaster. Now coming in at number 13, we have almost the polar opposite of Cheetah Hunt, where it's like, yeah, it's just a fun coaster. You have Kingda Ka, which is all about intensity. This is an intense coaster. I mean, it is just nuts. You get launched at 128 miles per hour. You can go up a 456 foot top hat, which you don't get airtime on, but still, it's insane. If I'm going to recommend a scene on this thing, I 100% recommend the front row. Front row is absolutely where it's at on Kingda Ka. And I remember when I first did Kingda Ka in the front row, I was horrified. I was with one of my buddies. We were both horrified. Yeah, again, this was another one of those times. I wasn't scared in line, but then it's like, you know, when you're doing something and you're just thinking to yourself, yeah, this is a great idea. And then when you're in the process of doing it, you just think to yourself, I have made a horrible mistake. That's pretty much me on the front row of King Ka, or near enough any time I ride King Ka. It's just so intense, it's intimidating, it's awesome. That feeling of just being horrified while waiting for the coaster to launch, there's nothing like it, save for Totoro Dragster. But, I mean, you're so lucky. I'm so lucky to have this at my home park. Unfortunately, it does break down a lot, and I probably only ride it half the time, if that, every time I go to Great Adventure. So that kind of sucks, but when it's open and when it's running, it does have a long line, but other than that, just so good. This is definitely the GP crowd pleaser of the park, the one that everyone runs to, because it's the tallest roller coaster in the world. Of course the GP are going to go to this. And yeah, King Ka, it's awesome. In terms of problems, the restraints, I'm not a big fan of these restraints. They don't bother me on this coaster that much, because it's not like super whippy turns everywhere and everything. It's just launch, top hat, airtime hill, the end. You know, pretty simple. And the other problem is the launch track is kind of rough. If you sit towards the front, it's not that bad, but especially if you're sitting in the back, it's gonna be rough, man. This coaster is gonna be rough. But hey, it's good. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It's good. Definitely ride 6 Plus Great Adventure when you go, if you can, because it's absolutely worth it. It's awesome. Coming in at number 12 is TMNT Shell Raiser at Nickelodeon Universe at the American Dream Mall, the only one to make it from the Nickelodeon Universe American Dream Mall, also the only Gerstlauer coaster I've ridden. And if this is what Gerstlauer coasters are going to be like, I'm very excited for some other Gerstlauer coasters. Now, I doubt all Gerstlauer coasters are going to be like this. I'm pretty sure this is peak stuff for Gerstlauer Eurofighters, even though the Infinity coasters over in Europe look fantastic, like Smiler, or especially Carnin. And then you have some other good Gerstlauers here in America too, such as Monster and Hang Time. But I really want to get some more. I really hope we get some more Infinity coasters and stuff like this in America here, because they're awesome. I can only speak from experience with Shell Racer, but Shell Racer is amazing. Well, I mean, the only problem with it is that it is a bit rough at some points. It does have a few rough spots, and it is rougher in the front row. But that front row is just so intense that I'll 100% rather take the front row over the back row anytime. And there's so many versions. It's such a weird, unique, but awesome layout. You don't get to the lift hill until halfway through the ride, and there's still another half to go after that. It's just so good. It's a genius layout. I get that it's a clone of Takabisha and everything, but hey, this is the only one I've ridden, and plus the other one's over in Japan. I doubt the GP know there's another one over in Japan. So, yeah. TMNT Shell Raiser, awesome coaster, 100% recommend it. Because, especially since there's nothing like this in my area. The closest thing in my area is probably Fahrenheit, and this thing absolutely crushes Fahrenheit. Now, number 11, the last coaster that's going to be mentioned in this video is Millennium Force. I remember when I first rode this thing, I was a young little GP. Well, I wasn't GP, I still love roller coasters, but let's just say I gained a lot more knowledge since then. The first time I rode Millennium Force, I was like, geez, that's back in 2014. Woof, that was a long time ago. And yeah, Millennium Force, awesome coaster. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. Millennium Force is absolutely an awesome roller coaster. When I first rode this, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is the best coaster ever. It was so good. It was my first Giga coaster. It's still the only good Giga coaster I've ridden. When I first rode this was the tallest roller coaster I'd ever ridden. I was so excited. And no, I'm not trying to say this is a bad coaster. It's still an awesome coaster. It's at number 11 on this list. That's how good it is. But it's not the most intense coaster in the world. I'll say that. Not that it's forceless. It's not forceless by any means. It still has some good forces on the ride, but it's not, you know, super intense as compared to some other Giga coasters from what I've heard, especially something like I-305. But yeah, Millennium Force is still an awesome ride. The layout does get a bit repetitive with so many bank turns and everything, but that lift hill going right next to Lake Erie, it's freaking beautiful. You get some good airtime, you get some good floor airtime over those hills, and a little ejector pop on the last one, that's really cool. And yeah, you can't not love Millennium Force. You're going 93 miles per hour, it's so much fun. Again, this is another one of those super fun roller coasters, so you're going so fast, and it maintains that speed for the entire ride. You're just, it's like going in a convertible at 100 miles per hour without like glass in front of you. I don't know how to describe it. It's awesome. I love Millennium Force. I really do. And I hope you guys can understand that it's only number 11 because it's not the most intense thing in the world. And even when it does have airtime, it's not amazing airtime. It's good airtime. It's quite good, but not amazing. So, I'm going to end this video here and stay tuned for episode 5 in this series, the 5th part, the final part, the top 10 later today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you did. It would help out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.